All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. We're going to see for these two Google searches if BSS is present. Then we're back in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that pinned video, pinned post, home video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph in white down here. Highest intent people on the left. This is people using social search, Google search, searching for a boudoir photographer in their or boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And as a result, they're we talk about them BSS videos here. Over on the right, we got the lowest intent peeps. Talk about dealing with these or reaching these peeps on our sister channel, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And over there, we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. Now, boudoir search sameness is BSS. That means a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots, page 1 on Google. 0 slots, page 1, we cannot have that. We're dying a fast death here because that means we're on page 2 or deeper. The reason that matters is we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. That's right, they're one and done only. They're page 1 and done only searches. So for our page 2 or deeper, we're visible to approximately 80% of the market, so the bulk of the market. 1 slot on page 1 is also not good enough. Everyone on page 1's got 1 slot. So, it's us and most likely 9 other boudoir photographers. We're looking the same, we're not standing out. So what a boudoir photographer is doing is they're actually clicking, everyone's link, open up everyone's website, every contact form, every whatever submission form, getting a quote, comparing prices, waiting, negotiating. Why should I buy now? Trying to get the most for the least. It's wasting everyone's time. Most of these contact forms for a lot don't even convert anyway, so just waste. So business dies slowly in this case, only having 1 slot, page 1 Google search. And 0 1 slots page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. That's common. It's accepted to have 0 1 slots page 1 Google search, but it's not normal. Now, these 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Market saturation, yeah, basically everyone knows about this one. More peeps joining. Basically, peeps kind of naturally upgrade their gear over time. New iPhone, new camera. And as they get new gear, they're actually throwing up their Google My Business profile saying they shoot boudoir, throwing up their website saying they're a boudoir photographer. They are, increasing basically the amount of times they post in the mom groups on Facebook saying they offer boudoir photo shoots. So all this is more sellers, more boudoir photographers for the same number of buyers, makes it harder for every other boudoir photographer in the market. This is market saturation. Then we have false belief page 1 equality. Yeah, very few peeps know about this one. This is kind of like boudoir photographers naturally assumed that they basically naturally assumed that each boudoir photographer gets, kind of just gets 0 1 slots page 1 on Google, and that's how it is. Maybe they had their page 1 slot 7, that's how market saturation happened. Now they're page 2 slot 2. I'm like, well, that's simply what it is. Hopefully those people delete their websites so Google can bring us back up onto page 1. But no, this is the 100% incorrect mindset to have. This kind of a wait and see mindset. 100% wrong. What's actually true is Google will give us as many page 1 slots on Google search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords as we want, or as we put in the effort to acquire. AKA, we actually show Google we want. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search, to 9 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search in only 10 days. This new methodology we developed. So I know for a fact the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. We also know the boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. And remember, BSS 0 1 slots page 1 Google search for page 2 or deeper. We're dying a fast death. We're disappearing there for page 1 1 slot. We're dying a slow death. Both cases, we're disappearing boudoir photographer. And what actually happens is this kind of warning light, the warning flag, the check engine light, the canary in the coal mine that's telling us, hey, our boudoir photography business itself is now on the path to disappearing. But thankfully, we now have a solution. We've actually discovered that BSS boudoir search sameness, 0 1 slots page 1 Google search, is treated with social search saturation, aka SQ's methodology. And it works exactly like it says, social search saturation. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, so we show up there. And when we do this, it's kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains down there in South America, the eastern side, the backside of those mountains. where what happens is that snow melts, water drains into small streams, small rivers, and eventually it all flows, gets collected in the large Amazon River. Now, that is large Amazon River is page one Google search. That's exactly what it is. And we actually, so it all starts with the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains, because that all starts with the inputs. That's key methodology. We gotta get the snow up there first for it to then melt and actually, flow into the large Amazon River. Now, SQ methodology, it's the only solution I've seen that actually allows boudoir photographers to have a chance to still grow their business in the presence of massive market saturation. And in a relatively quick, give them that opportunity in a relatively quick time frame. And the largest, kind of the only other solution I've seen that gives that same benefit, but not in a relatively quick time frame, is actually having a large, well-known brand. But again, dude, that takes like 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years, dude. AI's here, taking people's jobs. We don't have 5 to 10 years to build a brand. What's interesting is SQ methodology with my estimates actually enables with Wolf Dogger to build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than standard methods, because we're seeing across so many different surfaces with much higher volume, much higher frequency, reaching much more of the highest intent people. And as a result, my estimate is, building that brand 8x faster to make market saturation matter even less. All right, so now an example. We are now going to, this will be a good one. We're now going to Bend, Oregon. And there's 1 million boudoir photographers there. And we are one of them. Everyone's got their websites and they offer boudoir photography. So it means page one Google search, ultra competitive with 1 million websites trying to rank there. And so we're like, all right, we ain't got no brand. We ain't got no time to create a brand. And so the only chance of us competing here is we actually got to be the first ones in our city to utilize S-Cube methodology. And as a result, let's say we crank it up to the max, like kind of way above anything the average boudoir photographer would do with S-Cube methodology. And let's say we're taking up the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords across all of social search. And let's say that flows then onto Google. We're taking up the first 300 slots on Google for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And it's 10 organic slots per page Google search. So dude, we're taking up like the first 30 pages. So guess what? If a boudoir buyer is searching for basically if a boudoir buyer is searching for a boudoir photo shoot in their city, and as a result, they're looking on different, social media searches and Google searches, we're basically the only one they can find. We're taking basically the first 300 slots everywhere. So they can't really find any competing boudoir photographers. So they basically hit slot 301. That's page 31 on Google. I already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So dude, who the heck's in page 31? Basically no one. So if we're essentially the only person they can find, the only boudoir photographer they can find, whose business is still growing in this market? Most likely ours. Whose business is dying, vanishing, going away, becoming invisible in this market? Most likely the other 999,999 other boudoir photographers. And so this is an example of what S-Cube methodology could enable for a boudoir photography business in an ultra-saturated market. Now, once you're with S-Cube methodology, we now have page one visibility, P1V. Initial benefits, we're getting more slots to page one Google search, but interestingly, every new slot we get page one Google search, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. Basically get to choose how many of our competitors go to page 2 and deeper, which means they're invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. So a lot of boudoir photographers actually really like this initial benefit. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And this is where the GBC universe recommends having, hitting the 3 out of 10 minimum for page one Google search. So hitting a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. Because when we have that, basically every other boudoir photographer on page one will have 1 slot, but we'll have 3, so we'll be dominating them. In the ultra rare case, someone else has 2 slots. Well, again, we got 3 slots, so we're still dominating them. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got a disappearing boudoir, this is our micro universe here. We got a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, which is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Thankfully, we have discovered a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. All right, now it's my results here. I'm going to dominate Google page one for the keyword BLCS boudoir. So what I did was started using S-cubed methodology, and let's see the results. So slot one, we're getting slot one Instagram, me. Slot two, me. Slot three, me. Slot four, me. Slot five, me. Slot six, me. Slot seven, me. Slot eight, me. Slot 10, me. So literally going from 0 out of 10 slots, page one Google search, to 9 out of 10 slots, page one Google search in only 10 days, exclusively using S-cubed methodology. So now the big mission here, we're going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS, boudoir search sameness, for either of these searches. So we got a local search, we got a city search here. So we got Bella Rosa. All right, not here, we're done there. Boom. All right, boudoir photographer, Auburn, California. Seems like there's an Auburn in like every state. So boom, we got one. Boom, we got two. Boom, we got three. Boom, we got four. Boom, we got five. Awesome. People searching this, who are they clicking on? Who are they going to? Obviously going to the person most likely that's got 5 out of 10 slots. Awesome. And yeah, so we got insane coverage here. This is what we like to see. My bet is they're not disappearing. My bet is they're treading water or growing. All right, now we'll go to the big city. We want to have, so they do not have BSS the first search. They hit the GBC minimum for the first search. Let's see here though. All right, so we got boom, 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 boom. Nope, nope. All right, we got 0 out of 10 here for the big city, Sacramento. So we got BSS here, and we got we did not meet the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 here for the large city. City's always harder. So we can take this back. So first search, no BSS. They do not. This boudoir photography business does not have boudoir search sameness. But yes, for the Sacramento, the large city search, 0 out of 10 slots, and we did not meet the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. All right, so if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search or city search with the highest intent boudoir by your keywords, and you're saying you got either 0 or 1 slots there, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google, and you've accepted that page one equality is a false belief. The false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. You're seeing that Google actually give us as many page one slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you're actually seeing that S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, the only solution for you that can fix this. And you've been waiting for something like this because the ads, Google PPC, give you a best one extra slot, but momentum dies once you stop spending. These do have some momentum that does continue, not infinitely, but these do have momentum. And you like the initial benefits, more slots page one on Google. You really like the second initial benefit, kicking your competitors off page one on Google, relegating them to page two, and effectively rendering them invisible to approximately 80% of boudoir buyers that are using Google search. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, more peeps get new gear, more boudoir photographers enter the market, got it. But you're also looking ahead and seeing, man, AI is taking people's jobs right now. AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs right now. Last time that happened, COVID, big influx of boudoir photographers happened as a result of that in COVID. So you're realizing, oh man, actually a much bigger wave than before is coming to boudoir photography, way more boudoir photographers. And you have decided that, man, you actually need to fortify your position on page one. You literally need to have so many links, backups to the backup links on Google that they can't rank all your links on page one, and they stand like page 2, 3, 4, because Google wants to put them on page one, but now there's no more room. And you basically need to fortify your page one position to essentially guarantee no current competitors rank on page one, and certainly no new competitors that come in from AI taking their jobs can rank on page one. So you're seeing all that. and fortifying, kind of like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because the city is below sea level. And you're saying SQ methodology is also the only solution for boudoir photographers that can do that. And you want to achieve page one visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer and achieve boudoir search visibility, because you understand you need to acquire these things, do all these things on your path to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. I also like the future benefits of utilizing SQ methodology now, which we've not talked about yet, but every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we are essentially creating these invisible thematic keyword columns that plug into our brand, our name, our website, associated with it, kind of out there in cyberspace, digital space. That actually means backend AI mindshare. We increase our backend AI mindshare for all these terms based on frequency, repetition, authority, age, relevance. And every single day we do this, it increases the probability we actually will get recommended for AI overview. So we're kind of building these thematic keyword clusters, invisible thematic keyword columns all around associated with our brand, our handles, everything about us. And AI can parse this. So we're increasing the probability of this, we're increasing the probability we also show up AI search, standard AI search, which is ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Increase the probability we are showing up in all these searches as when people use their AI search. And yeah, Google's approximately 90% of global search, but dude, AI search is increasing every single day. And when I last did an AI search searching for boudoir photographers, I searched the city. ChatGPT gave me only 3. So I actually went and looked manually for basically on Google and on Facebook, how many there are out there, and there's like 60. So it's like, man, we need every possible way to get recommended AI search if there's only 3 slots. And your CNS key methodology is the only solution that can give you the best, that can allow you to do that. And you understand that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So what you've realized is you decide to become the first mover in your city, get that first mover advantage, kick out all your other boudoir photographer competitors, prevent them from using this strategy. You get all the benefits, more slots page 1, more people kicked off page 1 to page 2, effectively making them visible to approximately 80% of the market. Higher chance of fortifying your position on page 1, so nobody can ever rank on page 1 besides you. Higher chance recommended AI search, higher chance recommended standard or recommended AI overview and recommended standard AI search. Approximately 8x faster in building a large, well-known brand, because you'll be seen across so many different surfaces. And building up a massive gap, kind of AI back-end AI mindshare momentum gap between your competitors in your city, with all of these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to your brand. And you understand the converse. If another boudoir photographer hopped on this, decided to go with me first, they would get all those benefits. You would actually be forced off page 2, and potentially you'd be forced off page 1, potentially also forced off page 2, and page 3 and deeper. Man, there definitely basically no one going that deep. And you'd be losing that AI mindshare. Your competitor would be recommended again, above and against you instead of you. You would be losing those slots, losing all that mindshare in the marketplace. And more boudoir photographers renting every day, so you'd actually be worse and worse for you every single day. And this means your competitor would be growing a gap between you every single day. You'd have to actually go rederive, or actually drive for the first time, SQ methodology for yourself. And then you would have to go execute it, equal amount of execution as us every single day. And then once that happens, you're simply maintaining the gap that me and your competitor would have already built up against relative to you. So you're just maintaining the gap. So you'd have to actually outwork us 2 or 3x every single day to actually start to get some of your links on page 1 and go pull that back into AI mindshare back towards your brand for all these invisible thematic keyword columns. But during all this, you're still not even 100% confident you've derived SQ methodology correctly in the first place. So probably wouldn't be putting into 2 to 3x our effort into it, doing it yourself. And the second thing is, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this? So you're hearing all that, you're like, screw that. I'm definitely being the first mover and adopter in my city, blocking out everyone else from using this. And as a result, we are, so if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed because the hospital is currently closed to new patient intake. And then when we do open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot us a DM then, and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S-Cubes methodology.